Sorry, boys, the stream stopped. Rip, the stream stopped. Oopsies. Oh, fuck. Oh, he got me. Hmm. Okay. I got him. No! Rip. I 1 hour till the sermon. What the fuck? I'm gonna add these people. They're good people. They're good friends. Yeah. Popping shots. Kevin. Carrot. Green Thumb. Boom. Bardog. Did I get him? Yay! Got him. Overtime? What? Uh-oh. No. Yes. Get some more of the solo. Solo. Yeah, solo. Solo season mode. Solo season, yeah. This one. Smart.
Spirit is happy here.
It's approved. So it's when he calls me into this, I cannot apologize for doing his work. I cannot apologize for the ministry and the movement that he had me, that he founded through me. And it was simplistic as well. As I'm praying into it, it just came to me. Have you ever felt in your heart or heard sorry like you want to apologize to the library manager? No. Okay, well there it is as well. In a very simple thing. It was like you didn't do anything wrong. And if you feel like you didn't do anything wrong, then don't apologize for it. And also after going through the transcripts real quick, she interpreted me saying pervert grooming sessions, just describing the program as a pedophile protector. So these are two different things. Are there similarities, some may argue? Perhaps, yeah, but they're also different words. So I never used the word pedophile. I'm not one to mince words, but I used the word pervert. She said this 3 times, that she was worried about the lie that I would be calling for a pedophile protector. Well, I never said that. So all of this is based off of a fabricated narrative that she has created with her misinterpretation. And just as Karen Molly has created that by her discretion, she deemed that I was intimidating the librarian with my conduct, which I vehemently disagreed with. I said that even after I got sentenced, even with respect, you were wrong. I know what intimidation looks like in my own life. That's not what I was there for. She knows all of this. But they want me to essentially denounce this movement. They want to have that in the media. They want to kill any further protest. That the leader, he is recanting, he is apologizing. They're not going to say, oh, he's upholding his charter rights and his religious views and conviction. He's just a good Christian boy who just wants to apologize for her feelings. They don't care about her feelings. This isn't even about her. It was about our movement that was effective in shutting down Drag Queen Story Hour. And I'm not allowing them to do that to God's movement, God's ministry. No, I'm not giving them any ammunition to fire at it, to expose it, to denounce it. No way. And I've never done anything that I need to apologize for. So also, I just want to throw this out there, because I read this transcript several times when she was on the stand, that her security guard friend and the news and or one of, if not both, briefed her on these protests that were happening at the library. So he told her, she saw it on the news. So already, naturally, there's going to be some kind of anxiety that's getting built up in her. Oh, coming to her library is probably next. We're having it posted on Facebook. So why is that my fault? Because she gets all worked up because of the chit chat in the library with her security buddy. She also sought out the video that I posted. She said the transcripts, she didn't even know if she remembers being named in the video. Okay, so you look at the video, you're talking to the security guard, you misinterpret, pervert grooming sessions for pedophile protector. You know what? There's nothing that I did wrong in the first place, and then after reading that, okay, I definitely didn't do anything wrong. You got yourself worked up into a frenzy. You know what? That's unfortunate that you feel that way. I am not sorry for my conduct of going in a library and demonizing and condemning Drag Queen Story Hour. And I won't apologize for it.
Now, Karen Molly, the crooked judge, the woke, rogue judge of Alberta, could not be able to do this against Christians without the support of people, so-called crown prosecutors like Matt Lidovich and Stephen Johnson. So those are the people that are responsible for this ongoing prosecution and persecution of Christians. But your story, and of course what happened to me as well, it reminds me of another man. I think some people will remember that name. Martin Luther. There was a German, long time ago. He faced a very similar circumstances. He faced a judge, or judges at that time. There were multiple judges. And he was told specifically, because they could not win it.
Hearing a ringing sound.
No one argument with this guy because he had a valid, real argument against their case. He was not only a smart man, but the truth stood on his side, so they couldn't win an argument based on facts and science and biology against you, so they are forcing you to apologize. And they were forcing him to apologize as well. And here's what he said. I want to read it just for you, Derek, because your story reminds me of what happened to Martin Luther. Here's what he said when he was told, just recant. In other words, just say you're sorry, you apologize, and all of this will go away, Derek. All of this will disappear. We will not torture you, and we will not burn you alive on the stake, okay? So, if you want to escape with your life, this is what you do. You say you're sorry. Here's what he said. I cannot and will not recount anything. For to go against conscience is neither right nor safe. Here I stand. I can do no other. So help me God. That's what he said. Facing an execution. Here is a man that knew the consequences of those words, that he is going to be burned on the stake like so many others before him. He's going to be tortured, and things will not go well for him. But God, of course, had a different story, a different plan for Martin Luther, and I believe that Derek, God has a different plan for you as well. I think the gallows that they are building, or they have finished building against you, is the very gallows that they will hang on. They will be impaled on their own devices, because people are watching. People are paying attention, and I'll prove it to you. Some of my friends in the United States of America are meeting on December the 9th. Those are the people. I don't know if you can see it. I'll just read the names. Chapin, Foyt, Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley is the senator that asked the U.S. government to put Canada on the watch list as one of the nations that is openly persecuting Christians. Congressman Moore and Mark Walker is an ambassador for international religious freedom. They are meeting in Washington, D.C. on December the 9th to talk about crimes against Christians. This is an emergency summit, and Canada is going to be one of the nations on the table. Those people are fully aware what our broken justice system is doing to us, what those crooked politicians that, in my opinion, should be charged with treason are doing to the Canadians, and especially Canadian Christians. So the Americans will be aware of what is happening to you, Derek, and I think that's how we're going to win. We have to keep talking. We have to keep letting people know what is really happening, so they can pray for us, so they can stand in solidarity with us and spread the word around. So please share this program, share this show with everyone, everywhere. Let the people know that in the 21st century, in a so-called free and democratic society that we call home, Canada, the Dominion of Canada, our own government is working against the Christians, is working against the law, it's working against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and our own Constitution, with the use of a woke and rogue justice system here led by Karen Molly and crooked and corrupted to the core Crown prosecutors, and of course with the help and support of rogue law enforcement agencies. So, pray for us. We're still in court. We're still fighting. Support us if you can, and please spread the word around. Let the people know what is happening in Canada, while we still can do something about it. Because there will come a time when it will be all over. It will be a total dictatorship with no rights whatsoever, like in North Korea or in in China or other places around the world. So, Derek, I want to give you a final word. What do you want to leave people with? I mean, you went through hell by before. You have been arrested. You have been in prison. You have been manhandled. You have been tortured. You were away from your son, away from your family, your wife. Financially, you have been destroyed. They don't even allow you to work right now. You are at home. You send a letter to the probation officer regarding your work, and he's not even replying to you, right? So, on a side note, when I talked to you before the show, I believe that they want to find something else to breach you with. I think they're waiting for your mistake. They understand that arresting a man for his religious beliefs will not look good, especially to their allies, like United States of America. So they want to catch you on something else. I think they're waiting for you to make a mistake. Either go grocery shopping or go to work to provide for your family where they can say, aha, we breached here. And if I was a betting man, Derek, if you breach, if you go to work, if you do something that they can nail you with, the compelled speech will completely disappear. I truly believe that they are now waiting like animals, like wolves, like hyenas, like, coyotes in ambush, trying to find something against Derek Michael. Well, we don't want to arrest him for this apology letter because we know, everyone with a brain knows that this goes against the law of this country. So we need to find something to punish this man for not willing to bow to the modern day golden image, right? The statue of Nebuchadnezzar, the statue of Karen Molly. This is a clear case of she erected a statue and she is demanding that you bow before the Karen Molly golden statue, or else, and now they want you in a fire furnace, but they want to do it, in my opinion, they want to do it in a different way. They know that this will go crazy. Your arrest will go viral, will go crazy, and people will know what's happening. So they're waiting in ambush for you to make a mistake. But I want to give you the floor. What do you think about this? Now you're kind of imprisoned within the four walls of your own house. You cannot do anything, and the probation officer that is supposed to give you the papers for you to continue living your life within the boundary of the probation, he's refusing to do. He's not even answering you, right?
That's right. It definitely seems like they're cooking something up. I think your theory, Art, might not be far-fetched. But I'm abiding by my conditions. It's not terribly different than how he was treating me before, so I'm quite used to being at the house, and I take advantage of this opportunity to spend time with my family, be on shows like this, pray, read my Bible. So there's lots to keep me busy, a lot more than in jail. So I'm thankful for even just being here. But just to kind of sum it up, we've gone full circle with everything, but I want to recap that. I've been arrested 4 times with this. It was 105 days spent in jail, and all kind of encompassing, this will be 58 months, whether...
There's one simple ear trick that anyone can use to begin calming tinnitus in just minutes a day.
Bail, probation, jail, house arrest. And you know what I gotta say? It's worth it. Even though this is outrageous, I should never be convicted, this sentence is incredibly harsh and severe. It's worth it to be obedient to God. It's worth it to protect children. And I want to encourage everybody else, don't be bullied into silence. Don't bow before the golden idols, the statutes, and what's going against your charter of rights and freedoms, your beliefs, your conviction, your conscience, and to keep exposing darkness unapologetically.
Well, Derek, you're a hero in my books, and thank you so much for standing for my children, because you're not just standing for your child and for the children that God is going to bless you with, you're standing for my children and for the children around the world. So I want to thank you for that. And if you want to know more about the conditions of remand centers. You know, like myself, 21 days in solitary confinement against the international laws. I want to encourage you to read the book Lions Do Not Bow, especially now when it's Christmas. And if you're looking for a gift, you can, it's, as you can see, 500 pages with pictures. So you can even give it to your enemies that do not know how to read. They can see pictures in the book and enjoy it as well. Get it, Amazon.ca for the Canadians, Amazon.ca, Lions Do Not Bow, or internationally, Amazon.com. And if you can spread the word around about this, I'll be very grateful to you, especially now when our legal bills are getting astronomical. I already paid $150,000 a month on these, and this is just the beginning that I'm doing my best.
at what's actually happening out there. We now have pastors being arrested in this country simply for refusing to apologize for what they preach. Think about a pastor being handcuffed because he wouldn't sign a state-approved apology letter. He wasn't violent, he wasn't uttering threats, just refusing to deny what he actually believes in. If that isn't criminalizing Christianity, I don't know what is. And while that's happening, Ottawa is quietly pushing this new hate speech rules and expanding Bill C-9. Laws that make it easier than ever to slap a label of harmful or
Nobody's worried about their girls playing with trans girls and getting hurt in unfair play. Maybe not yet. But the second it happens, the gloves are off. So why even allow it? Why even take a chance of something that we all know is wrong anyway? St. Albert Public Schools said the forms are being distributed and collected by coaches when students try out for a team. The forms will be kept at school offices and not given to the province. Edmonton Public Schools said it will do the same, while the city's Catholic schools use a digital form with access restricted to authorized administrators and office staff. Under the province's new rules, those wanting to participate in boys-only sports don't have to fill out the same forms that girls do. Well, they don't care about trans athletes in sports, otherwise they'd care about all trans. See, no, Leah. Because we know, for the most part, that if you have a girl wanting to play with boys, there's probably not a real big risk that she's going to hurt them. At least not physically. We kind of know that. We had a woman.
Austin from Epcor here. When fat, oil, or grease goes down the drain, it cools and clogs pipes and plumbing. Instead, pour it into a jar or container with a lid and toss it in.
French article that came out from Danielle Smith. As an advocate who's always stood behind the Premier, I found myself questioning, where does Alberta stand on its independence now that Danielle Smith has come out to say she will literally fight independence and run on federalism? I have to say it's very disappointing. And much like I've always preached to this audience, it's always important to take the emotion out of it, to look at it from all angles. The first thing I did was reach out to those that I speak with in the legal community, those I reach out to speak with within the UCP. Now, the UCP has told me as of right now they do not comment on what is going on. But one person I did reach out to, of course, who's always ready for comment, the Honorable Jeff Rath, who is on the channel today to talk in depth about what to make of this article, how independence moves forward from here, and essentially how we get to the finish line. Now, it's very important to take into consideration, folks, that I've said multiple times, we don't need Danielle Smith to move forward on independence. A lot of rumors are running around now that she may be running for Pierre Poilievre's seat. I guess time will tell on that aspect, but nonetheless, folks, I will be bringing in Jeff Rath for this extensive interview. I would encourage everybody watching this video, please leave a thumbs up, a comment. Even if you've gotten past the points of the interview you like, let it run all the way through on mute. It really helps the channel. YouTube has been censoring us into oblivion. We've lost multiple subs this week on a purge, on a data purge that YouTube has done, and they're essentially pushing our videos down. So a thumbs up, a comment, a subscription if you haven't yet already, or if you've been unsubscribed. I can't count how many people have sent me messages saying they've been unsubscribed by YouTube. Make sure you hit that button. Join us live on the channel Friday. We're going to be talking more about this interview. Keep in mind, I know it's a long intro. Keep in mind as we get into this interview, Jeff was coming to us from the country. Jeff does not live within the city limits. There was a connection issue, but his audio is crystal clear. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss the future of independence. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's delay no further. Let's bring in our guest for today, Jeff Rath. Jeff, welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
Anytime. Listen, we need to talk about Danielle here because this article has come out, this French CBC article, and I've always been an advocate to think that when we have Bill 54, we've got all these foundations that were laid out by Danielle Smith and the UCP in order to push for and gain independence. It really doesn't make sense to myself nor a lot of my viewers. Like, why would Danielle put all of those blocks in place just to go on this interview and say, yeah, I'm gonna run with sovereignty. I want Canada to work. Like, I guess I'm a little confused as to why put all those building blocks in place just to kibosh or go against the independence movement.
Well, why did she stab all of her members in the back when she was leading the Wild Rose and became the only leader of a party in the history of the Commonwealth to cross the floor right in advance, of an election, completely destroying her own party and causing the Socialists to be elected in Alberta? I mean, Danielle does whatever Danielle thinks is right for Danielle, and she doesn't care about any of us. I mean, that's the unfortunate truth. It's pretty clear. We've all been seeing the signals for a while now that Danielle is not on our side. There's a lot of people, yourself included, that thought she was playing so-called 4D chess. That she's just trying to prove to Albertans that, Canada's completely dysfunctional and Mark Carney, can't be trusted, et cetera, so that people, to add support to independence. But unfortunately, I think that's all wrong. She came out literally, and this is the other thing that's really despicable about her. It's actually really sad for a lot of Albertans, myself included, because I was hoping that she would come on board. But, there we have that AGM where it's proven to her that 85% of her base of the party are in favor of independence, right? Every time she mentioned, the MOU with Carney, she was almost booed off the stage, right? And then what does she do? On Sunday, November 28th, she sits down on French CBC and in French tells French CBC that if there's a referendum, so in other words, she's saying, if I allow there to be a referendum in Alberta, I will be campaigning for the Federalists. So that means she's going to be taking Common Cause with Jason Kenney, Tommy the Commie Lukasik, all of these so-called Federalists that want to keep Alberta and Albertans in tax slavery to Eastern Canada, and she's on their side, and she's announced that she's on their side. So it was a very odd thing for her to do. Basically, 2 days after her base came out overwhelmingly to prove to her that, at least 85% of the UCP base favored independence, she's now announced that she's a diehard Federalist and she will be campaigning against independence in the province of Alberta. I think it's a really sad day for the province because coupled with the other thing that happened yesterday, which was a really big deal, is that Danielle's caucus